Alright, welcome back to Keller Sports Park as we get set for Game 2 here in Keller, Texas between Bay Area Rugby Club and the Dallas Harlequins. Guarantee it won't be the last time I mess up that name. The Dallas Harlequins for an exhibition. We'll have two 30-minute halves between the two women's clubs out of Division 3, I believe. Division 3 women's. So we have Bay Area, or Bark, going from left to right in black with red trim. And the Harlequins, kind of a hodgepodge of colors, blue, red, and green.
Yeah, actually, you joke about the colors. It's the colors of one of the most famous rugby clubs in the world, the Harlequins. And they're based in England, and they've got sort of associations all over the world. So, club with a great history.
So, see, a lot of people will know the Harlequins as, we were talking about this earlier with the producer, as the Joker's girlfriend from the comic book. So,
yeah,
not many know it's the. I've heard the name, but I didn't know that it was the club out of England.
Yeah, and they've actually got a great history here in Dallas-Fort Worth. They've got a very strong men's program, and this is being their third, their Division 3 side of their ladies, but they've got a Division 1 side, which is also a very strong side in the women's league.
So just a friendly match here before our third game tonight. The Division 4 men's for the second place. I want to say, I know it's for the plate, but can't put that into a thoughtful sentence. What is it, like the second place?
Yeah, you know what they do in rugby is in sevens tournaments primarily is you can't get all the games in if you just play one another and everybody plays home and away kind of. So what they do is they play a knockout format, and the teams, you play a round robin in the beginning and then you go into a knockout format, and they split it after the round robin. They split it so that they get the cup section, and then the second string of teams play in what they call the plate section, and it really just gives them a way to compete without just sitting down and not doing anything.
So the kick taken by the Harlequins. I don't have the numbers for the Harlequins, so I'm not going to have names to match, but that's going to be a quick try for the Harlequins, and they'll go up early on this one, 5-0, as Bark was trying to get field position, but unable to bring her down.
Yeah, rugby allows you to kick the ball forward and chase it and continue to play it, but you have to make sure you kick it so that you can control the outcome of the kick. Otherwise, you give the ball to your competitor, and then you suddenly go from offense to defense, and they go from defense to offense, and it can, as you saw there, be detrimental to your game if you don't control it properly. Great kick there by Amy Crawford. Her husband actually plays for Alliance Rugby Club, the club actually hosting today's tournament, and she works really hard at her game, and good to see her having the success she's having.
So the Harlequins up early on this one, 7-0. The women's D3 exhibition game. So we're going to have two 30-minute sides and an intermission. Kickoff fielded. The far side. brought down. Harlequins running into the inside. Nice power run up the middle. They come off quick off the ruck. One wide with it now.
The ladies' game plays the same rules as the men's game, and you know, we actually have a number of the ladies actually training with the men. Amy Corpus as an example, and she's as tough as nails. Don't let it. Don't think because she's a lady that they don't hit as hard as the men do. They hit extremely hard.
They've had a couple of nice hits already. That's rare. That's kind of rare you find in any sports. With the usually leagues, they tailor the rules and the play to men and women differently. You know, you got baseball, softball. You know, just different kind of rules. And this one is kind of, you know, you go out there and you just play.
Yeah, absolutely. And the game has been the women's game has been 100% you know, accepted by the men. In fact. Many of the women's teams actually have men coaches today.
You're talking about anything to grow the sport. I know they've tried a couple of years to have leagues form, like professional leagues that have kind of gone nowhere.
Yeah, well, I think the problem with rugby in the US is that it's really hasn't been a sport that has grown like you know, NFL or like hockey or many of the other professional sports today, because rugby was an amateur game, and so you know, with rugby becoming professional, I think there's a big opportunity for the growth of the game. It's been the fastest growing game in the US for the last 5-6 years, and I'm sure we'll see rugby continue to grow here.
The Harlequins on the push now, on the near side. Good communication going out there as the Harlequins make a push to get the second try on the board. Just bruising it up the middle.
Yeah, they got some hard runners, the Harlequins.
She's another one.
Yeah.
She looks like she's going to get in there for the try. Yep. It's 5 more on the board for Dallas. They jump to a 12-0 lead here with 21 minutes to go in the first half of this exhibition. Really controlled the game. We're really just controlling that drive, just putting their head down and pushing them back.
Absolutely.
They do kind of have a size advantage over Bark, Bay Area Rugby Club.
Yeah, ironically enough, you know, there's 15 players on the team, and you know, size is not everything in this game. You know, fitness, heart, and obviously the skill level also play an important part in the success of a team. Another successful kick by Amy.
Let's make that 14-0. As we hit the hottest part of the day, around 5 o'clock here. Starts taking a toll on everybody out there on the field.
Yeah, I think they need as much water as they can get at the moment.
We're going to this up for the Harlequins. Deep kickoff, drop forward, or knock forward by Dallas.
Yeah, there's a drill where you stand 2 players opposed to one another, and you just kick to one another, high balls, and you jump up and turn your shoulders so that if you do drop it, it goes backwards. And you know, you can see that drill's not practiced enough here in the USA. A lot of players just run straight onto the ball without turning.
It's kind of like feeling like a kickoff in football. You just go for it instead of...
Yeah, absolutely.
I think just little details like that can mean possession, just where you turn, where you're facing. As you can see, I mean, possession is kind of the name of the game in this. Is the more possessions you have deeper in their zone, the more chances you're going to have.
Yeah, you know, most of the what they call Tier 1 rugby playing nations, the kids start in their 6-7 year age, and it's much easier to practice a drill over and over at that age. When you get to this age, they want to get out and play. They don't want to be kicking a ball to one another for a few hours. So it's obviously a little bit more difficult to get those drills ingrained.
How about anything you do, you got to get back to the basics and anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a hard tackle.
Yeah, I deemed it a hard tackle. Now today, a tackle can be deemed high if it's just a dangerous tackle. So
it was high up on the shoulders. I mean, it really wasn't the neck, but I guess like you say, they're going to call that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, you're listening to the Texas Rugby Union on KMAX Sports via YouTube. I am Mike Davis. Alongside of me is Stuart Roger Brown, giving us insight and knowledge that I otherwise couldn't give you. So if you're just joining us, Fort Worth just won the first annual Division IV Men's Championship over Houston, 25-22 on a late penalty kick. And we're into game 2 right now between Bay Area Rugby Club and the Dallas Harlequins. Dallas with the scrum.
Pick up by the number 8. Good kick by Amy. She's chasing the ball down. Oh, bad luck, bad luck.
Took a late second bounce there, went off and out. She would have some room to run and she was able to scoop that one up.
Yeah, that would have been difficult at that speed, but she could have certainly used her foot soccer style to kick it further down the field, because the number 15 was right on the ball and Amy was on her inside, and really they had just a fullback to beat on the Houston side. So maybe a missed opportunity there, but certainly Amy's put them into a much safer position on the field.
We didn't see much of that in the men's game. The kind of the positional battle, just trying to get the kicks out there, just trying to push it down the field. It's
kind of let's call it more cerebral rugby, if you will, rather than just pure brute force when they start thinking about the game. And Amy is one of those individuals who spends a lot of time watching and studying the game. So she's learned when is the right time to kick, when is the right high tackle there, when is the right time to kick and when is the right time to run, and clearly that put Harlequins in a very attacking position there. You see the ref with his arm up there. There was a late tackle. He's leading, playing advantage. Ball comes out again. Big hard hit by number 7 from Houston, but ref deeming that the player was offsides, not back 10 yards.
Seen some good hits this match so far. Big hard hits.
Another hard tackle, sadly. There's no need for that.
That's the third one of the game. The last game we didn't see much of that.
Yeah, I think the ref's going to have a little word with them. Hopefully not a yellow, because it's no need for that. Just a little bit of over exuberance, but we have to ensure that we cut that out of the game.
So we'll take the line out just inside the 10.
Yeah, number 14 from Quins try to catch that ball. Unfortunately, not catching it and allowing the ball to go into touch. But in this game, as I said before, you've got to make sure you make your kicks, otherwise the opposition is running straight back at you.
Yeah, we saw that last game for sure. So Bay Area with it, going to the outside, cutting back up the middle. It's like that. Sheila Bertrand. And quick kick didn't quite go out.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately the 15 caught the ball this time, but slipped, and her foot went into touch.
She lost her footing over there on the near side. So another line out for Dallas. Or excuse me, Bay Area. "12 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the first half. 14-0 in favor of the Dallas Harlequins. The Bay Area in their zone now, trying to get on the board. Over to the fly half, she's brought down.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a card coming out here. Oh, showing Amy a card there. Amy obviously lost her composure a little bit and infringed to a degree that the ref was unhappy with that. So she'll sit for 10 minutes up on the little sin bin up here that we have in front of us on the halfway line.
Do you see many penalties in exhibition games like this, or is it just something that kind of happens?
It's an exhibition game for sure, so you know, there's nothing really on the line, but at the end of the day they play to the same rules, and you know, rugby is about you're winning or losing. It's a game we all play to win, so they play as hard as they would under any other circumstances.
So Bay Area's going to have the advantage over the next 10 minutes. And Dallas will have to play this one player short. Line out to Dallas.
You know what? The number 10 position on a rugby field is very similar to the quarterback in a football game, and the fly half controls so much of the outcome of the game, so it's going to be pretty critical for the Quins to really play smart rugby at the moment while Amy's sitting her 10 minutes out.
What do you look for out of the fly half? I know you seem like the quarterback. I mean, is this person just the one that's going to control the team, or, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a quarterback is a great analogy. The only thing I guess a quarterback doesn't really do is kick. And a fly-off has to kick as well. So the fly-off has to kick, they have to tackle, they have to pass, they have to watch the game and work out what best their team should actually be doing, and put their team in a position to perform as best they can. So typically what you'll see is if the kicking game starts, it usually starts at the number 10. Many other players can kick, but the number 10 normally is the person who decides we're going to kick a little bit more, we're going to run a little bit more. And it gets a lot more technical than that. It's where do they kick, where do they run, how do they run, do they lie flat, do they lie deep. So it's not just simply kick the ball, it's where to kick it, how to kick it. There's all sorts of things that come into the game.
It's amazing how much detail goes into it. I mean, if you're just looking for the first time at it, you're just seeing the scrum and it's just like utter chaos, but there's so much strategy that goes involved with it in movement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look now, Dark are putting the ball in. They've actually lined up all on this side. So their whole back line is on this side. And they have extra numbers but are not able to get the ball out. So now they're going to go down the middle. They try and recycle the ball, create another phase.
We're going to get a stoppage here.
Yeah, I think that it looks like he's going to ping Harlequins for not getting away from the ball on the ground. After the tackle, they got to roll away to allow the other team to play the ball. Again, we spoke in the previous games about the breakdown and the allowing continuity to play.
So Bark trying to get on the board here as time winds down in the first half. 8:30 to go. Bark down 14-0. And they're going to go for the, looks like the penalty kick to at least get on the board. Against, they're in chipping range, but still with this wind the way it's blowing, you gotta be accurate on this kick, even though you're lined up.
Great, right through the middle, good distance, everything in order.
So 3 points for Bark. They're now down 14-3 with 7:35 to go here in the D3 women's exhibition match between Bark and Dallas Harlequins.
Well, there you see what happens when you play a short. Bark haven't scored all game, and while Amy sits on the bench, she's still got 5 minutes to go. They put 3 points on the board, and they'll be working hard to at least get another 3, if not another 7, to narrow the gap to 10-14.
Well, we'll see if these points will be a momentum shift for Bark, as we saw in the last game when Fort Worth was able to get 12 quick points, and then Houston came back with 22 and extra scores. So, any points matter, no matter how small they are. I can always do a little momentum shift.
There's an old analogy, an old classic saying in rugby that you got to keep the scoreboard ticking. So when you get down and you get within scoring zone, you just got to make sure that you score a few points, whether it's a try, converted try, or even a penalty.
Yeah, there's no taking plays off. I mean, you can't just kind of just have a small lead and just kind of like, okay, we can just play field position here. You just gotta keep at it. So we're gonna get a reset on the scrum. Dallas. Start usually in the winter, fall, or how long does it see that?
First games of the men's season usually starts around about November. The ladies start in January. They have a much smaller league, so they're able to get their games all accomplished before the playoffs, which are over last weekend, this weekend, and next weekend, before they get to nationals, which is in June. So there's a whole long playoff process which starts, basically started last weekend, right across the country. Just looking there, Dark have secured the ball in the field, but the Dark players are absolutely exhausted.
Oh, that was a strong hit. We've seen some massive hits this game.
Oh boy! I thought the Bark person was really going to hit the Harlequins number 1, but turned out the opposite way. Great body position, good leg drive, and number 1 pushed the Bark player right backwards.
When you use that proper technique, it avoids those injuries. I mean, these look like massive hits, but I mean, if you're doing it the right way, you're going to be able to bounce back up from it.
Yeah, well, we actually tackle with shoulders, so your body's positioned so that the head and neck are out of the danger zone, and you drive forward using your shoulder, and if you tackle correctly, the tackler actually lands on the tackled player. So you actually end up being in a very safe position and usually not getting injured at all.
Gonna call a knock on here. She wasn't able to come up with it. I have rosters of names but no numbers, so unfortunately I can't peg anybody to a number. Pass came out kind of low, so get into the scrum. Bark. And here the coaches from the sideline trying to position their players, get them ready.
Yeah, actually that's Amy, a little frustrated being on the bench, shouting at the players to get up and come up on defense.
Well, they heard her, they repositioned.
She's not on the field, and that again, you asked what the fly-off's job is. That would be her job, talking to the players on the side, on her team, getting them in defensive position. She's got about probably a minute to go, maybe 30 seconds to go before she goes back on.
He was backtracking. I bet that's a pretty big penalty with your fly half in the penalty box. Then kind of lose the lead of your team. Bart picks up the loose ball. Amanda McGee with it. She's brought down. Bay Area gets set from the ruck. Going to be a knock on here. Advantage goes to Dallas.
They're playing advantage. The refs allowed them to play on, which is a good thing.
You lose a lot of control when you get those wide out passes. I've been seeing that. It was some of the first game, especially in this game. The further out they try to go with the passes, the less control they have over, especially with the wind and where the ball goes.
Well, you know, you look at the field. A lot of teams, all they do is they play vertically on the field. In other words, they play from goal line to goal line. What's important about this game is to spread the field and use the width of the field. Because then the opposition has to run horizontally and not just forwards and backwards, and so that's you'll see teams spreading the ball as much as they can.
And it makes sense, especially if you can catch somebody sleeping over there on the outside. I mean, you can have that breakaway.
Harlequins, they caught the ball and running back. We spoke earlier about not making the kicks. There was a great example.
Kick kind of hung up there, got caught up. As the Harlequins are about to get their fly half back.
Has trouble. Their number 15 can run.
Oh, she's going to be on.
It's all over. Amy's a little frustrated on the sideline. She was hoping to get on, but she can only go in and break in play, so she can't go in while they're taking a penalty. So then she had to wait, and now she's got to wait for the conversion, and then they'll allow her to go on. I think they're allowing her to go on now. So
we're back to even strength. So the Harlequins only got 3 points on the penalty. Able to get 5 points of their own. They lead this one 19-13 here with time winding down in the first half.
It's 19-3, is it not?
19-3. What?
Yeah.
Oh, did I say 13?
Yeah.
I think I said 13.
Yeah.
19-3.
The Bark are going to be very fond of you.
Yes. 3 points. Look wide on that conversion. I don't think she made it.
She's pushed it past on the right hand upright.
So the score will stay 19-3.
And they're down to half time now, so they're going to have a bit of water, I think. Have a half-time break.
So we're going to go to half here. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us as we're going to turn the mics off, but keep the camera rolling. We'll be back with second half action. All right, we're underway for the second half of the D3 women's exhibition game between the Dallas Harlequins and the Bay Area Rugby Club, better known as BARC. Dallas ahead of this one, 19-3. As we get our first scrum of the second half. Been pretty much all Dallas the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Barks had some really good runs and done some good things, but they haven't been able to string them all together. So, you know, they've ended up with plays in isolation, which, you know, don't result in anything.
And it's not like Dallas is really kind of just like putting their heads down and bruising them. It's just, it was 2 breakaway plays that they scored on early in the first and late in the first half, which is the main reason why they're up now 19-3.
Yeah, and there's their number 15 again from Harlequins, and she runs hard and fast. And when they let her get through, then she's gone.
And when they get more space with their fullback, she gets that momentum going. So back up the middle with it is Dallas as they push their way closer to the halfway line. They maintain running up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, try to throw what we call a dummy. Try and let the opposition think that she's passing, and she brings the ball back in, and made a few yards doing that.
We're going to keep an eye on Bark as they inch a little bit closer to offsides on these.
Oh, Amy with a big shoulder charge there.
It's like Courtney Bode is a little shooken up there for Bark. He trots back on sides. I think she took the shoulder from Amy. They go wide with it.
There's Amy running back again.
So down to the far side with it is Dallas. Trying to tack on some more points here, leading this one 19-3 early in the second half. But a nice sustained drive for Dallas here.
Yeah, very good. And that's very difficult to defend. Keep running backwards, spreading wide. Very, very difficult.
There's Amy again with it. Pushes it back.
Oh,
going to get a knock on this one.
yeah, good run by Amy, but you know, running forward at that speed to turn around and try and pass backwards is not easy. And the ball dipped down, and unfortunately Jody, their number 2, Quinn's number 2, knocked it on, and play comes to a stop.
So a little break here for Bark.
I think their number 6 has got a little bit of blood on her nose, so she's come off. Just wants a little bit of attention.
Yeah, a little cut up on the bridge of the nose.
Not sure why they're waiting for it. Typically they don't wait, they keep going. They allow them to bring on a substitute player. They have 10 minutes to do so. There they go, they're bringing on their number 7 back again.
So they just wait for a quick stitch up, or is that what you think they were doing? Or
no, when the player bleeds, they want to get them off the field. Just obviously, you know, they're worried about transmission of body fluids and stuff like that, and also, you know, just clean up the person, you know, get them a little bit of medical attention, and let them come back on. Years ago, players would play through and they'd be bleeding, and it was pretty messy. So they've cleaned that all up today, and they give them 10 minutes to get treatment and come back in.
It looks good on TV when you're out there with blood running down your face. But I guess safety comes first. So in with it. Ball comes out on the side. I don't think he can do that.
Yeah, ball came out. They'll come down again, and Bark will put the ball back in again and do it properly this time, hopefully.
.24 minutes to go here in the second half. Harlequins up 19-3. So we get reset on the scrum here down on Bark's half of the field. We really haven't been able to generate any kind of momentum.
Oh, yeah. Quinn's actually won the ball back, but it came out, and then number 7 from Bark picked it up.
Nice heads-up play by
Again.
Karina Martinez.
Quinn's with a little bit of counter-rucking there, and they won the ball back again, so the ball was moving backwards and forwards as to who had possession and who didn't. Oh boy.
Just ahead of that pass.
Yeah, Amy getting back and securing the ball, but the Quinn's players being pushed right off the ball and allowing Bark to run back at them, which is unfortunate there. Dropped it, but regained the possession.
Courtney Bowe taken down. Bark's just going to play field position with it and kicks it down to
right to the Quinn's full back, and we know she can run hard and fast.
She's dangerous when she gets that open space, and here she goes again. Somebody's going to have to wrap her up. There you go. I think she went down kind of awkwardly on that one.
Yeah, she didn't fall very well there. Seemed to have her legs kind of split between her.
Yeah, she's favoring her knee on this one.
She's a little hurt there, it looks like.
Yeah, kind of like her legs were kind of going the opposite directions when she went down. So let's see if she's going to be able to get back up.
She's done for the day. I think she's indicating to the sideline that she's in pain.
She's doing the sign that she's not coming back in. But like she said, she went down real awkwardly on that play.
That's unfortunate because she's been really a bit of a live wire, running nicely with the ball, and
she's got 2 tries in this one, so she's a big player, kind of the fullback position.
You know, we just saw right there a play performed by Amy. She was tackled, she went down and stood straight up and picked the ball up and drove forward. You know, that's a skill that many senior experienced men's players don't even get right, so hats off to her.
Like I said, she's got a rugby brain out there, looking for all the angles to try to take the advantage. As Dallas is trying to bulldoze her way in for another try. A couple meters or so off from the try line. High pass, but picked up by the wing. She's going to try to go wide out. She's got a spot on the outside. If she can get a few more feet here, she'll be in. She was turned around.
They grabbed her jersey and held her out of the try, scoring a try there, but you know, well played by her. She went to ground and she's presented the ball back, allowing Quinns to play another phase and continue with the pressure on Bark, and the ref indicating the ball's been held up in the try area, so it'll come back for a 5-meter scrum.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Bark there to keep her out. She was going for it. She had the angle.
She got up, let go of the ball, she got up, standing over the ball and playing with contact. But if a rucket forms over her, I would doubt it.
20 minutes to go here.
Yeah, it looks like Harlequins have shuffled their back line a little bit. Moving Amy, it looks like they're moving her to number 15. So she's moved from their fly half position.
Yeah, they've generated some scoring plays out of that position, so I guess that's why they're moving her back there.
I think, in all honesty, it's probably more about taking care of them breaking through their back line, because without Amy there, they've got nothing at the back to defend.
The Harlequins are in for a try. 24-3 now with 20 to go here in the second half of the D3 women's exhibition game between the Dallas Harlequins and Bark, Bay Area Rugby Club. It's been pretty much all Harlequins this match.
When you look at a rugby side, there's a number of positions that coaches try and fill with their most skilled and talented players. They're starting at number 2, the hooking position, very critical. You go to number 8, number 9, number 10, and number 15. If you can get great players in all those positions, you've got the makings of a fairly good team. You can continue to fill it out.
Middle of the field, I guess, if you lay out the positions.
Or middle of your team, rather, because they move around, and so your hooker really puts the ball in at the lineouts. He secures it in the scrums, and then your 8-man really picks up at the back, controls the ball coming out, determines what kind of ball your 9 gets. Your 9 actually plays the role of sort of a link between the backs and the forwards, and then your 10 really controls what goes on with your backs, and then your 15 who's the last man on the field. And if you've got those positions sewn up, you've got the makings of a good team there.
I guess out of that bunch, you got the 2 as the young son of the hooker, as young son hero, whatever I like, because you got your fullback getting the scores here and getting all the attention.
Yeah, actually, if you watch a lot of the professional games today, you'll see hookers and tight forwards running like backs, and backs like rucking and scrumming like forwards. So the game's it's changed in a lot of respects. When many years ago, forwards there was a distinct difference in body size and build, and today you're seeing people playing in the back line the size of forwards, and forwards playing in the forward pack the size of backs.
Is that due to conditioning? I mean, you got a lot of agile, bigger players now.
Yeah, it's really it's a lot to do with the game. The game has changed. It's a much more physical game in terms of, when I say physical, I don't mean big hits and physicality of individuals. I mean, you have to run for longer times, you have to tackle more, you have to ruck the ball more, and every player today has to ruck, every player has to tackle, whereas in the old days typically your wings were very, very fast and couldn't tackle, couldn't kick, and many of them couldn't even catch, so that's all changed today.
So Bark finally has possession deep in the Harlequin zone, trying to cut into this 26-3 lead by Dallas. Got a hard tackle.
Dallas still with some hard hits and hard defensive play.
Yeah, they're not letting up with this 23-point lead.
Nah, no chance.
A little confused by Bay Area.
Tackle.
Bay Area inches closer.
If you have a look out there, you can see the Bay Area players are all centered right behind the pack. There's nobody spread out to help with the passing of the ball. They're just going vertically up and down the field, and there's nothing that's really testing the Quins players.
Well, they're going to push it in now for a try.
Yeah,
so they're on the board here. Excuse me, extend their lead 26-8 right now, with 16-12 to go.
Yeah, I think the time's starting to run away from them now.
Well, they'll try to tack on the conversion with the win at their back. At least try to make this a 16-point deficit. Yeah, like you said, that's at least 3 possessions.
Got number 6 from Bark coming back on. She's had her nose seen to, the blood seems to have stopped, and she's back in.
So Jessica Martinez for the Bark.
Number 15 going back in for Harlequins. She had her knee strapped, so that's good to see her back in.
Yeah, especially the way he went down and the way she was coming off. Looked like she was done for the day. So he's dangerous down there with your knee, with the ACLs and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was more of a sort of a freak type of occurrence. You don't see that a lot. We do have those injuries, of course, but usually we don't see that too frequently in the game.
So 14:48 to go. 26-10 is our score.
You know, just a little shout out. I mean, you look at these fields; they're fantastic here. The end of a long, hard rugby season. There's a few patches that have been worn down, but otherwise, really good field that the Keller City Council have put on for us here today.
Low lining kick picked up by Courtney Bode. So numbers away. Forward. And back at it is Bark. Jessica just coming off the little head injury. Finally goes down. A little confusing there was where to go with the ball.
Yeah, she should have taken a look before she picked the ball up, because the players can really tackle her straight away from the moment she picks it up, and if the Quins player was just a little quicker, she would have been under big pressure. Yeah, I think the referee probably deemed that was Harlequins actually collapsing the ball going forward.
I think that's not going to quite make it out if she can field that one. She overcommitted to it and goes over her head, so
yeah,
Mark will get the line out. Into Dallas territory they go again. They're trying to cut into this lead. 12 minutes to go, or 12:50 to go here in the last half of play. So stay with us at 6. We got the D4 game between Denton and the Corpus Christi Dogfish. That'll be right here on the Texas Rugby Union YouTube channel, brought to you by K-Max Sports. Bark wins the line out to the right with it. They try to get a little momentum, trying to find a break.
You know, this game is designed for the backline to run forward, not sideways. And if you watch number 10 from Bark, she has this habit of running to her right or to her left rather than forward, and it puts everybody on her backline under pressure because they all just close up.
You start running out of room, everybody starts scrunching up down there.
Exactly.
What we were talking about earlier, I mean, it's a game of trying to set up a play to make the breakout, to kind of thin out the defense. Kind of play one-dimensional like that, you're kind of easy to read on.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem is when you run sideways like it, I mean, people run onto you and hit you so hard you don't know what day it is.
We've been going today. You're going to see a hit like that soon. Bark continuing the charge on the near side, trying to cut it back into the lead. Going the other way. And she's going to be held up. I think Dallas came away with it.
Back to Bark.
The play will continue with Bark having it.
Yeah, Bark Bark now just really not making tremendous amount of ground forward. They just keep getting pushed back a few meters and then going sideways a little bit and then getting hit back again. And
like you said earlier, I mean, they're kind of bunched up there, so you're not going to get a breakout play playing that tight. Ten minutes left here in the action. Ball comes out for Bark. A little room to run. She's brought down.
Yeah, big mistake by their 13, Quinn's 13. She was sold a dummy and she went for the dummy, and the player just kept going straight.
Melissa, you're on this side. You're on this side.
Well, it looks good on the replay if you can make somebody bite on those dummy passes. We'll get a stoppage here. Both teams work in some subs. So Lauren Patterson coming in for Bark. Get set up for the scrum.
If you look at the way they're set up at the moment, Bark have two people on this left-hand side, the near side closest to us, with one defender. And you look on the far side, they're defending their back line, so this should be the side for them to come.
Breakout on the near side.
Now Quins have got the ball, so Quins should go to their left, but they're not. They're going to pick it up and come this way.
She wasn't able to play it cleanly, but she does get it out. They do go to the far side. Still moving it. Pitches it back. And they're going to run out of real estate on the far side. 8 minutes to go here in the second half of play. A little tap and go. Shakes one defender. Ball's loose and picked up by Dallas.
Yeah, knocked on. Fortunately, it's going to be a scrum to Bark.
They caught a knock on.
Yeah. Now ball handling's critical because you make a silly mistake like that and you lose possession straight away.
That is a tough pass to make when you're being spun around because you do lose your kind of line of sight where you're at, and then next thing you know it's going the wrong direction.
Yeah, I mean, just hold on to the ball. There's no need to pass it. Hold on to the ball, go down to ground, let your teammates drive over you, and then you have a great ball to play from. And it creates an offside line as well, so the opposition have to now get back and behind the offside line, put themselves back on side. Whereas if it's just broken play with the ball being thrown around, there's really no offside line, so Bark can be on the wrong side of where they should be.
So Bark with it. That went off a Bark player, but Dallas picks it up. Coming towards us on the near side, and she powers it down near the halfway line. And they're going to get that one. And she knew it when it fell out of her hands. We'll have a scrum on the near side for Bark.
I tell you, I've said this a few times, but I'm really impressed with. First game I've watched Amy Crawford play, but I'm really impressed with her thinking on the field. She's not selfish. She passes the ball. She does everything right. Good player to have on your team. Equally so, the number 7 for Bark. Really tough, physical forward. Works real hard.
When it goes, Bark comes away with it. Over to Sheila. Her kick is blocked. Picked up. That can't be held on to by Dallas, and the ball is loose on the ground.
Yeah, sadly she should have been under the poles with that.
She had that distance, but I think she looked up from it.
Yeah, her teammates will sort her up later.
I guess that goes back to baseball. Keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, play one play at a time. Catch the ball first, then run.
Scrum for Bark. Down 26-10 with 4:40 to go here in the last half of play.
Oh no, she was held. She got to let the ball go there. She stood up.
They're going to let that one play on. I don't think they caught it. Ball stripped away and out. Call the line out for Park here.
Yeah, Theo van Wyk been a referee here in Texas for a long time, associated with the Fort Worth Rugby Club, and you know, competent young man and been around a long time.
Bark takes the line out. As time continues to wind down for them, Dallas is up heavily in this one, 26-10.
You heard clearly the referee call ruck, no hands. Wendy, also a very experienced referee, clear and concise instructions, very easy to understand what's going on. Yeah, in rugby the referee makes a final decision whether you agree with it or not, but when it's clear and concise, you know what you've got to do and you can move into your next phase of play, whether you penalised or awarded the penalty.
That just makes it easier for the player if you know what to expect. If they're going to call it one way, it's going to be called like that the whole match.
Minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes with the referees added on time. It looks like Quins want to just bring in a couple of players, give them a run. It is an exhibition game, so you know they're trying to give as many people as possible a chance.
Gets his max in here as Dallas picks it up, runs with it down on the near side. And she's brought down. 2 minutes to go here in the last half of the game, like I said, a minute more. Dallas making one last push, get some points on the board. On the far side with it they go.
There's a big lady running in and equally tough flanker number 7 from Bark, who was there to make the tackle. But just too many numbers on the outside again for Quins.
That's where they've been hitting them up all game, is just trying to work it outside.
Looks like they're going to run in their last try, I think. Yep, there it is. Amy scores it.
It's good of the score sheet.
Well, that's a fitting end to a game that she really did a lot to contribute to Harlequins' success today.
And she was a big part of that, even though she missed 10 minutes of it in the first half.
Yeah, it's getting her breath back, and getting refreshed and refueled.
Didn't work out the way Bark wanted that to work out. Overall, a good play match here.
Well, you know, it's been a great example for women's rugby, and you know, you can look at a game like this and say, you know, I could see my daughter playing a game like this. Yes, it's physical and tough, but you know, it's played in a great atmosphere, respectful of one another, and yeah, a couple of bumps and bruises, but nothing, no serious injuries.
No, nothing. Little cuts here, cut there. I mean, you can do that falling down outside, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, I don't know how much time the referee Wendy will put on now, but Yeah, we got about 10 seconds left to go, and then it's the time's all Wendy's.
We got the 6 o'clock match. Obviously not going to start at 6. With the next match coming up here with Denton and Corpus Christi. .30-10 our score here. The extra time.
Oh, great dummy by Amy. Great dummy, unfortunately not looking for the winger on the outside. A little no-look pass, but that doesn't really matter because the game's all over.
That's going to do it for us here in this D3 women's exhibition game. Dallas takes this one handily, 33-10 over the Bay Area Rugby Club. Again, we'll be back on here probably 10-15 minutes for the D4 men's game between Denton and Corpus Christi. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. Keep it on the YouTube channel of the Texas Rugby Union Club. And once again, you're listening to KMAX Sports, watching KMAX Sports via YouTube. I'm Mike Davis, alongside me with Stuart Rogers Brown, and we'll be back for Game 3 tonight.